It's June the 10th, 1988. Shrouded in darkness, two massive 4-engine C-5 Galaxy transport aircraft from the 160th Special Operations Aviation Group, otherwise known as the Night Stalkers, roar towards an airfield in southern Chad. Inside their cavernous fuselages, two stripped-down MH-47 Chinook transport helicopters and more than 70 Special Forces soldiers from Fort Campbell, Kentucky, are ready for action. The commandos are well-trained and heavily armed, but few know their true identity, though it's rumored they're Delta Force. They would, of course, want to make sure that all their messages are encrypted and that they could disguise their location, which leads us to today's sponsor of this video, Atlas VPN. Atlas VPN is a tool that encrypts your data and hides your physical location, which not only keeps your messages safe from prying eyes, but can make it look like you're in a different country. If you are having trouble seeing your favorite streaming services, Atlas VPN can open them up on all your devices. Services such as Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and many more that would otherwise be unavailable to you. Also with Atlas VPN, you can see more shows than would otherwise be available in your country. Currently, Atlas VPN are offering huge discounts. By clicking the link in the description, you can sign up. If you go for the 3-year option, it's just $1.39 per month, with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Included with the Atlas VPN service is a data breach monitor. This diligently scans the internet to see if your details such as email addresses have been leaked in a data breach or other hack. Enabling notifications makes you aware of such incidents and gives you a heads up to change your passwords before any bad actors have a chance to steal your accounts. Please support our channel by clicking the link below and signing up to Atlas VPN today before this great offer ends. This is the way. Moments later, as the planes descend towards the airstrip, the fragile quiet is shattered by screeching tires slamming into the hot tarmac. Then, with a deafening rush, the C-5's powerful thrust reversers send clouds of sand rolling into the desert air as the planes lurch to a stop. Taxiing to nearby staging areas, the crews unload the MH-47s, top off their tanks, and prepare them for the next leg of the journey. Checking their gear and climbing into the Chinooks, as the sun peaks over the horizon, the twin turbines spool up, and the hefty 3-bladed rotors chop through the dry air, lifting the huge birds skywards. At full throttle they climb and head towards the abandoned Libyan airbase at Ouadi Doum in northeast Chad. If everything goes as planned, by this time tomorrow, they will have pulled off one of the most brazen heists in military history. Meanwhile, more than 600 miles away at Ouadi Doum, French and American servicemen scramble to make last-minute preparations. The prize is a Soviet Mi-25 Hind D, the export version of the vaunted MiL Mi-24, which was so feared in Afghanistan it was nicknamed the Devil's Chariot. The Soviet pilots referred to it simply as the Flying Tank. A colossal 18,000-pound beast, it's equal parts gunship and troop transport, and it's the Soviet Union's most advanced helicopter. Exceptionally fast, well-armed, and well-armored. The Americans don't have anything like it, and top military brass and the CIA have been dying to get their hands on one. Now, as the Chinooks touch down, the teams dismount and make contact with the advanced forces. At nearly 130 degrees in the shade, it's brutally hot, but with its rotor and stubby wings removed, the Hind is ready to make its unceremonious exit. Recon teams scouting the area have just radioed in an updated report. The Libyan forces are patrolling within a few miles of the airbase, and chances are they wouldn't take kindly to having their prized Russian wonder weapon snatched from right under their noses. Just months before, opting to destroy the Hind rather than letting it fall into enemy hands, General Gaddafi ordered his ragtag air force to destroy it and the other military equipment left behind by his retreating army after they'd been routed by the Chadian forces. But in another stroke of good luck for the Americans, the Libyan pilots must have had an off day because the enigmatic attack helicopter survived without a scratch. Designated Chalk 1 and Chalk 2, the first helicopter lands while the second hovers just above the Hind in preparation for loading. Too bulky to fit inside its cargo bay, the heavy and unwieldy Hind will have to be slung underneath the MH-47, a precarious operation, even under optimum conditions. Factor in desert winds, overly taxed engines, and the potential for enemy fire, and things could go wrong in a heartbeat. Nearly 8,000 horsepower surges through the driveshaft of the twin rotors, and after a brief shudder, the stalwart Chinook lifts the Soviet hardware into the sky. Nearby, finished loading miscellaneous equipment and the remaining troops, Chalk 2 also ascends, and the pair begins the long, slow trek back to N'Djamena airfield and the waiting C-5s, while the Libyans within a stone's throw of the colossal caper remain totally clueless. Once at a French Foreign Legion airfield, it's meant to be relatively smooth sailing. That is, until just an hour from the safety of N'Djamena, they run into an imposing sandstorm, blocking their path at 3,000 feet. In seconds, visibility plummets to almost zero, and buffeted by turbulence and tethered to the cumbersome and clandestine cargo, swinging like a giant pendulum beneath them, the pilots reduce speed to less than 50 miles an hour and fly within sight of one another to avoid a collision. With the sandstorm still raging around them, they miraculously land with their priceless payload intact. But it's another 30 minutes until the storm abates, and the ground crews are able to load the Soviet warbird into the C-5 that'll haul it back to the States, where it'll undergo exhaustive testing and analysis. In less than 70 hours starting from Fort Campbell in Kentucky, the team flew halfway around the world, stole a prized piece of military hardware, and returned safely, without firing a shot or losing a single serviceman. A tactical coup that's still celebrated as one of the most daring raids of all time. Though, ironically, just a few years later, with the fall of the Soviet Union, Hinds of various models became available in relatively large numbers, in many cases for just pennies on the dollar. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel and please watch more videos of ours. Thank you.